Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the LovePastors Podcast. I am Gary, your host, and you guys, this has been so much fun bringing on friends who love pastors, who are part of pastors' families or involved with Love Pastors. Today, I get the joy of introducing all of the above. Jada Yoder, what is up?
What is up, everybody? It's so good to be here.
Jada, it's great to be with you, and great to have you on the Love Pastors Podcast.
Mm-hmm. So official.
Oh,
this feels very official.
Been waiting so long for this moment. We are outside, guys. We're on the back porch of Ohio Roasting Company. It is open roasting. The open sign is blinking, which must mean hit record, do a podcast, talk about pastors. Jada, why should we care about pastors? Like you've got some some inside information to share with our audience today. So a little bit about Jada.
Yeah, well, I mean, why you should care, they are the life givers. They are the ones who are such a conduit of what the Lord is trying to do in and through his bride. And so there's no way around it. We owe a debt to our pastors because they hold an office that guides and stewards all of us. And all that comes from the churches that we sit in and are loyal to. And I love my pastors. There's multiple. I love my pastors that I sit under. I love, I always call my mom and my dad. They were my first pastors. I'm a pastor's kid.
Whoa, pastor's kid alert. Did you guys catch that? From the great city of, what's it called?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, okay. Like, what is that place near the Three Rivers? And
yeah, just a little town. I'm from a small town.
Okay, so pastor's kid, like with how many kids in your family? Give us a little bit of...
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of 5.
Okay.
I have 3 older brothers and an older sister, and then I also have 3 step siblings. So technically, in total, I'm the youngest of 8.
Holy cow.
I know, but just my, internal family, I'm the youngest of 5 in that.
Wow.
All of us pastors' kids, yes.
So that means have you been a pastor's kid all your life?
All my life.
You were just born into it?
I was born into it, yeah. They started pastoring. My dad started pastoring before they had any kids. And so before my oldest brother was born, they were pastors. So all of us we inherited this role, no choice.
No, they didn't ask you.
We were born into it. In the hospital, they told us, welcome to this
You
world.
were thrown in, as Bishop says, you were thrown into these circumstances.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and some of those things, it sounds like you enjoyed that. Some of it you were like, oh, I don't know about this. But Jada has a balanced view.
This is how I frame it. Yeah, this is my opinion of myself. If I see myself rightly, I think that I have a very balanced perspective. Right, I do not have bitterness towards the PK label. Okay. But I also do not glorify said position, and would not I don't have rose-colored glasses. It was There were really hard things. There were really beautiful things. I wouldn't trade it, but that is a perspective that has grown in me. It's not one I always had. Okay. And it's hard-earned, it's a hard-fought perspective.
Wait, so it's grown. Does that mean there were stages where you're like, oh man, why? Like, being a pastor's kid
has that. I don't think, maybe not every, I won't speak for all. If there's any pastor's kids listening, maybe you've loved it the whole time. But I think most pastor's kids, you go in and out. There's phases of life where so for example, I would say in the teenage years, what teenager is like, what I love? Everything about my family and everything that we do and every obligation.
Even my kids didn't.
Yeah, right? Shoot. So I think that in some ways it's inevitable for any child to grow and, push against because you're growing, you're changing. And so you try on.
So you had your moments.
Yeah, you try on different parts of what has been and you decide, does this fit me anymore? And so, I think when I went to college, I went to Penn State. And when I went to Penn State, nobody knew. I don't think anyone knew almost my entire time at Penn State that I was a pastor's kid.
Really? You didn't wear Love Pastors gear and I love my dad pastor stuff? No, it hadn't been invented yet.
I'd like to think I would have worn the merch because you have really good merch.
Yeah,
We've got some really comfortable t-shirts.
Church merch.
Yeah, I would have been into the shirt just because of the quality of it. But the message, I don't think I was there yet. Okay. But
Were you glad they didn't notice? Like, were you like, hey, I'm just a regular Jada?
Yeah,
just a regular
Jada.
Nittany Lion over here.
From small town Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think that's a good question. I don't think I was glad. I think that it was a relief in some ways. We were talking before this about like the fishbowl, right? That kind of like the family, being a pastor's kid, you are just in this high viewed, high perceived, high opinion spot. And I think it was a relief to be in a place, especially like Penn State, there's like 40,000 undergraduate students. You are a small fish in a big pond, and you get to be known for what you choose, right? I didn't choose being a pastor's kid. It's what I had to be. It's what I am. And there's something about getting that choice back that I think was a relief. But there were also, cons to that. Like I missed dearly some of the beautiful things of being a pastor's kid and being in a pastor's family.
Like what? Having to be the last to leave church every week? Or you being the subject of every other sermon?
Being
Dad,
every
I didn't say you could tell.
You know what? And the sermon illustrations, I still have a bone to pick with that because there are so many embarrassing stories.
Let's hear it. You don't have to tell all of them.
Never. No, my dad was just known. First of all, he has sage old advice that he's given to us our whole life that only now am I starting to see the wisdom of. And so he would make sermons that I know it's not just about me, but I know. He told me this earlier this week. He said, Jada, you have to respect your elders or whatever it was. And the next thing you know, on Sunday, wouldn't you know, here we are. Let's get into Timothy. We are talking about how children ought to.
Was he trying to get through to you? Was it? I know it's not about me, but it might be about me.
I think if he were being honest, if you asked him, or if I sent this to him and said, all right, Dad, fess up. I think he'd be like, yeah, there were definitely phases where it was inspiration, behind where he would go, which I think is fine. But I definitely have had bone to pick with him over that before. But conviction, it does not discriminate. We all, what you find yourself being convicted over often has less to do with the pastor than just you.
Right. Well, here's a question for you. Like, you were thrown into this. A lot of it's good.
Yes.
A lot of it's right.
Yes.
A lot of it sounds like you're grateful for.
Yes.
But here you are, a few years later, and you are still very involved in church.
I am.
You're involved in ministry. You care deeply about people.
Yes.
You're on the board at LovePastors.
I am.
Spoiler alert, Jada is an amazing board member of many talents.
Thanks.
And creative heart and generosity and love and joy.
Oh, keep this going. Are there more things you'd like to add on to that?
You need to buy me a coffee if you want more. But seriously, when did your faith in Christ, when did it become like Jada's and not like Dad and Mom's, or like this is what they expect to be? Like, when did it, you know what I'm saying? Even at Penn State, when you're like, I get to make my own choices now. And I'm assuming that at some point Jesus took over.
No, I think my faith in Christ, something I've always said is, I can't remember a day that I didn't know who Jesus was. And when I met him and I said, I'm going to do this with you, Jesus, I meant that. I was probably 5 or whatever it was. But I came to him and I meant it. I said, my life is yours. And I haven't waffled on that. Now, when my faith became my own, when it was like, okay, what is my responsibility to my church body? And it wasn't just through the lens of my family's ministry. I think that was when I first came to Canton. I came here in 2019 for an internship. And that was the first time that it was like, oh, I need to tithe. I need to decide what's my theology, what's my ecclesiology, what do I believe about church? What is the body that I want to invest in? How am I going to invest my talents? All of a sudden you kind of get that choice back. My mom and dad had always guided that until that point. Even when we tithed, my dad would always give us $1. You're tithing, it's my dad's money, but here, take the $1, go put it in the plate.
Get in the habit
when the usher comes down, yes. And so even that, you kind of have to at some point, which I think was in 2019 for me, be like, no, what is what I believe about this, and how am I going to sacrificially give myself to Christ's bride? I'd always given myself to Jesus, but not always to the church, and that came in adulthood. my belief about that evolved then.
Well, and now you're involved in what looks like a life-giving church.
It sure is.
With leaders that you respect and enjoy being around and who speak into your life on a regular basis.
Yes.
When we were at the Alive festival where you got to introduce Geo and all that stuff. And
so fun.
We still have the audio of, hey, Jada.
Yeah.
But when you found out we were going, you're like, ooh, can I bring Corey and Rachel? Ooh, can I bring Rev and Nat?
Yes.
Like you were like, I know all these friends. Like, tell us about your church now and what is life-giving for you.
Yeah.
You know, at this stage of your life. You're not the pastor's kid.
Mm-hmm. No,
You're
not
Jada.
at that church.
Yeah.
No, I love my church. So
3rd Street Community Church, shout out.
Yes, yeah. 3rd Street is my home church. That is the church that I came back to my relationship with Jesus in and through. Was through their leadership and through just the...
Wait, but from Pittsburgh.
I know.
How'd you get to Canton?
It's a convoluted story, but the answer is Corey and Rachel Hunka.
Okay.
They're tricky and they...
That's the pastor.
Do you see all of these police cars about to go past?
This podcast is about to come under some serious legal scrutiny.
They're coming.
You just said Corey and Rachel Hunka.
Yeah, and it was like, wee, divert. Okay.
All right, let's talk about something else.
I know, right?
Go Buckeyes. Let's talk about Penn State losing to Ohio State. Let's talk about that.
Not yet. This season's actually
at Ohio
quite
State
good for us for Penn State.
Drew Aller. We got a quarterback from Ohio.
You're right. This is not a football podcast. we should change the subject.
Is James Franklin going to win the big game?
That's
the question.
I know.
If
the
he is,
big
it's
games
this
are
year.
His kryptonite. It's his kryptonite.
Yep.
We get all the way. You know, there's probably a sermon illustration in that somewhere.
What about kryptonite?
About, when it comes to the big moments, don't fumble then, Like you've got to, under pressure, something's proven in your character.
Pastors, are you listening to this?
Such a pastor's kid. Yeah, somebody steal that. Somebody steal that right now and put it in their Sunday sermon.
Big picture of James Franklin on the screen.
See, I feel like I'm keeping us on track here. You asked me a question about Canton, why I came to 3rd Street.
Yes, how'd you get from Pittsburgh to
Rachel.
Canton?
Yeah,
I know that's the way the Steelers go. They get in the Hall of Fame, they go to Canton. You just followed all the Steelers.
I did. I followed, James Franco down the road, and here I was.
James Franco?
Yeah.
Who's James Franco?
Oh.
Franco Harris.
Same
thing.
I told you this is not a football podcast. Why would you put
Now they're going to arrest you for naming Steelers wrong. This is going to be the best podcast ever. Thank you, Jackson Police. I probably shouldn't make light of it. We should probably pray for the family.
Yeah, Jesus touch
Doggone
whoever that is on the other side.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Well,
it's just the timing, though.
The timing was funny, but then that was a fire truck. So now we're sober.
I'm sorry, everybody.
No, we didn't know.
That's the other thing about ministry, too. You never know when something awful is going to happen, and
you've got to pivot.
Yep.
No, seriously, you're the first responder.
I'm so sorry we were joking about football. I'm not even kidding.
No,
right
it's
now.
okay. It's not a football podcast, and it's not a first responder podcast.
It's not.
This is
but I'm still not going to
LovePastors
delete
podcast.
this because it actually happened. And you guys, one of the things that we get as far as feedback so far has been we feel like we're right there with you.
Yes,
and Joe Caruso at Buffalo Wild Wings. Are you right here with me and Jada at Ohio Roasters?
This is what's happening around us
in
real time. Yeah, if you haven't listened to the James Caruso episode, listen to it because you'll know their Buffalo Wild Wings order because they just order their food right in the middle of the podcast.
Yes.
It's lovely. So yes, I was in Pittsburgh. Corey and I had met at a camp that I had attended here through Ripple Effects, lovely organization that runs camps for youth. And so I had met him there when I was in high school, and then I was helping to run the camp, and he came back to visit some old students, and we reconnected kind of then. He had an internship through 3rd Street that he was running, and just really pursued hey, we want you in this. I was like, no. So then I went back to school and they stayed connected, and I was like, look guys, I'm not coming to Canton, Ohio. I have no desire to go there. I thought I was going to Austin, Texas. I'm a public relations major, so I was ready to hit it big in a PR firm. I didn't want to be in church leadership. And slowly the Lord, I think, worked on my heart and then just gave me immense favor in the life of the Hunkas. And they are two of my dearest friends and two leaders that I emulate, that I look up to, that I respect. I love their family. I do life with them. And so, just over time, it became an undeniable link
Yeah.
And so I graduated from Penn State and I moved to Canton. And that was how I ended up here.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up at 3rd Street. That's their church.
And you're not just at 3rd Street. You're on staff,
Yes,
human resources director.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
on videos. You're on stage.
Yes.
At times preaching. At times with the announcements or big events coming up. Like you're involved in all that stuff.
Yeah.
Love seeing just your energy and your joy and God using you in the church that way. Like how have you taken some of your, like, guys, as you're listening, maybe you're a pastor or you're a pastor's kid or you're in a pastor's family.
Yeah.
And here's a woman leader that I respect greatly, Jada, like respect your perspective on maybe how could churches do better caring for the pastor's family, or saying, because it is a different spot, and there's a sense where like you're grateful for your experience, but you're also now you're in a place at 3rd Street where you're kind of free from that angle of things, and you can maybe see here's how I want to care for Corey and Rachel and their family. Or
it does. Being a pastor is a weighty office. It is a call that I don't think pastors enter into because they, I've always wanted to be a pastor. It is something you get called into. And I think if you aren't, you don't last long in it, the Lord really equips the right people for that. But I think the thing that people don't understand is that was, the pastor. So for our family, for example, my dad was called. I'm going to be a pastor. I'm going to plant a church, And then as a result, my mom becomes the pastor's wife. I become the pastor's kid. But this was not, a job I applied for. This isn't a job that, most spouses of pastors applied for. You get lofted into this heavy office. Yeah. And as congregants and as people supporting pastors and their families, we need to recognize, that the pastor themselves need immense support to be able to show up first and foremost for their family. Yep. Our responsibility is to lead ourselves and to lead our family well first. And as a church, we sometimes feel entitled to the pastor's time. We feel entitled to their energy. We feel entitled to the pastor's family, access. We feel like we should have access to their home. We should have access to their kids, and we have opinions on what everyone should be doing. And that is something, as I was kind of sharing before we started recording, that's something I genuinely think we as a church need to lament and repent for. Are the unfair expectations we've placed on our pastors, and not secondarily to that, next to that, on pastors' spouses and on their kids. There is an equipping, certainly, that they have had for that role. I think that the Lord is faithful to do that, but we have to be faithful to run our expectations through a holy filter. We have to be faithful to give support and generosity and grace in response to this call that is on their life. And I don't think we, of course, as humans, get that right enough. That's something we mess up a lot. And when we see a pastor fall, they and their family don't just lose, respect, or they lose their job, they lose their income, they lose
their whole relationship network that they had at church.
They put everything into this, and when they are found at fault, they are the first ones cast out of this flock that they built, that they have stewarded. And so we need to be, I think, just careful in how we care for our pastors and their families. Never secondary. I don't ever view a pastor's spouse or kid as a tertiary part of the pastor's calling. That is you are husband or you are wife, and you are father or you are mother. That is your name, so to speak. And anything that I get from you as a congregant is tertiary to that. I need to be in right order and in right, space in that, if that makes sense.
Jenny and I were really fortunate in my 11 and a half years as a lead pastor that the church, at least as far as I could tell, was very supportive of our family.
I love
very
that.
supportive when I needed extra time away or when I wasn't available on a weeknight or a weekend. I'm sure there were people that were like, why isn't he here? but they weren't that many and they weren't that loud.
Good.
And if I had explained it, they would have been like, oh, that's why. Like,
yeah. Oh, and that's wonderful.
More
you
churches,
should take
I think,
time.
I think more churches are doing better than that. But
Yes.
I would say this to pastors: if you're in a situation where nobody else is speaking up for setting boundaries for your family or caring for your family, then you need to.
Yep.
Or you need to find someone like LovePastors or another ministry
who
friend
will.
or a friend on the board that can, or an older pastor that can speak to your congregation even and say, hey, like, caring for leaders is not just for them and their calling and what you may see on a stage from Pastor Gilliam as he's preaching with passion
Pastor
and he's
G.
always positive. Well, there's a 360 degree family unit with how many kids? Like, it's such a big family. Yeah.
So many kids. Yeah.
That, like, if a pastor, that's his first congregation to shepherd is, or her first congregation. Like,
absolutely. Yeah. No, and I think that is something I've seen churches, I think, grow in, is viewing their pastor as a person. Yeah. That's something I love about Third Street. You know, I don't think that I could be a part of a body that did not view their pastor through the lens of humanity, of like, hey, you only have so much that you can give, and we need to be understanding of what season you're in and what support you need.
Oh, that's huge.
You know, like when we forsake our office, I expect then my pastor to be apostle, shepherd, teacher, evangelist. Like all of a sudden, you know, instead of me saying, hey, as an evangelist, or hey, me as a teacher, I'm going to come fill this gap that I see. We, if we're not careful, have this expectation of the pastor's supposed to do all of this. And the pastor's, you know, spouse, especially a pastor's wife, is supposed to shepherd. And so if that is not their primary office, we, I think, when we're not careful, end up forsaking our own role in the body.
That's
and we say, hey, pastor, be all the things, and pastor's wife primarily, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you shepherding better? And it's like, well, they might not be a primary shepherd as their gifting. Like, of course they can be hospitable and generous and all of the things that we should all be, but you might be talking to a prophet. Like, you might be talking to an apostle herself. Like, so we need to view them as like, well, who did God create you to be as you step into this role? And not, how can we mold you into our understanding of what this role should look like? What a pastor's family should look like, and what pastor's kids should do, or what a pastor's spouse ought to be providing.
So instead of making assumptions or statements about what the pastor or their family should be doing, why not ask them how they're doing? Ask them what they love to do. Ask them what's life-giving or what's life-draining. Ask them how you could pray for them.
You're on it.
Ask them what are some of the thrills of ministry. What do they love about being a pastor's kid? What do they not love
right now?
Like, they're real people. At times they struggle, or they don't have a lot of people they think they can be real with. But what if you, the listener, are friends at LovePastors? Maybe you're listening because you care a little bit.
Or you think you should.
Somebody guilted you into listening to the Jada and Gary at Ohio Roasters episode. But here's the other thing, Jada, like, you are you're able to see some of these things differently now at this stage in your life. You have studied and practiced leadership. You're a coach. Like, you help people see strengths and weaknesses, and you help them see what's it like to be on the other side of me.
Absolutely.
And what are the voices that you operate from? And like, there's some things where I think when we first met, I'm like, oh, she's a pastor's kid who understands people dynamics, how they might be wired. What are some of the things that like at this stage in your life you would say, hey, here's how I could see LovePastors impacting pastors, or here's some of the things I think like motivated you even to join the board and say, let's do something.
Well, I think one of the callings that is over my life is to see and to resource the overlooked. That often is the marginalized, that is, can be those that are receiving unequitable or inequitable treatment. But in this case, one of the things that I think the Lord has shown me and has showed our board and has certainly shown you is that pastors and their families, although very visible, are overlooked. They are experiencing one of the most seen offices that we have in the church body, period. and yet are not resourced the way that we expect every other part of the body to be resourced. And so what I see Love Pastors being, in prime position to provide is a space of being seen and understood, of not being overlooked, and of us trying to provide holistic care to you and your entire family. If what that looks like in a season is, hey, we need somebody to come in and talk to our staff, to help us adjust expectations for, the pastor and their,
let's go, let's do it.
Call us in, or if this is, hey, I need connected to other ministry leaders in the area. I'm new. My family's new. I need people with kids, my kids' age, I need people that are doing this as well. Then we have one of the most vast networks, I would say, in Northeast Ohio that is able to find, okay, who are the people of peace that you might need in this season of life. Depending on the context, I think Love Pastors is in a position to help you fill those gaps and to see you as a whole person and as a whole family be restored and be renewed. And that is the part of it that excites me and that speaks to my heart. And I can obviously speak for Gary, you and your heart, and for our board and their heart. And I know that that's where we're all coming from, is what is the holistic view of this person and their family? What do they need from us? And how can we find the things to provide that expeditiously, immediately, right? As quick as possible.
We want to show up for pastors. And Jada, I think when you're saying holistic, you mean we're kind of ready to listen and care for the whole person, the whole pastor. And if there's a pain point right now, or if there's an emergency or a need or a gap, or just a way to add life and encouragement to a tired pastor, which I think is all of them in some ways.
Yeah, how could it not be?
But we'll spend a half hour or we'll have a conversation, and sometimes it's that pastor will bring it up. And we'll know, okay, here's a challenge that they're facing. We can pray for them, or I can connect them with another pastor or a counselor or a resource, that kind of stuff. Other times it's, do we show up, this is for you too. Do you show up as like a friend to your pastor, or a friend to a ministry leader, or someone who's related? And do you say, God, how can I encourage this person today?
Absolutely.
God, would you bring things to mind?
Yes.
Would you bring words to mind that I could say that would encourage? Or maybe you're just, this is another thing, I send these crazy audio texts to people.
Oh my goodness.
And sometimes that just starts from me sitting down near the end of a work day or whatever and being like, God, who have I not heard from in a while? Or who would you lay on my heart today to send hey, I see you, I'm praying for you, here's a verse, or here's a funny joke, or here's
people make it more complicated than it really is. It's just paying attention. That's a word the Lord has given to me over the last couple of months. It started as a rebuke, like I had passed somebody up in my hurry and in my busyness. And he had just said, so plainly as he does, you didn't see. And it ended up being an invitation. And it's one that I've received consistently. Like, do you want to see? And I do. I want to taste and see that the Lord is good. And so that means we need to ask the Lord, what is there for me to see today? And that often is small things like, hey, Lord, help me see somebody that I missed. And next thing you know, you're sending a voice text that's silly and that is goofy, or maybe comes with an invitation of, so, hey, if you have time tomorrow morning, I'd like to drop off coffee. I don't need your time. I'm not asking to get on your calendar. I'm not asking to get in your home. I am asking,
we don't even want you
order?
To donate to Love Pastors.
No,
unless you want to.
No.
Go help your pastor. But seriously, I've been committed to, let's do stuff for them.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and that's a charge that we have. I think the Lord will bring people who want to invest in Love Pastors, they will.
Oh, yeah.
That is plain. There is favor there. And so if there are people right now that are listening that are like, I want to give to this, great. Like, we receive that, and that is lovely. But you don't have to give to us in a monetary fashion in order for you to serve our mission. Go and serve your pastor. Go and serve their family. And do not do that with expectation. Do not do that, out of a place of reciprocation, but just out of, Lord, help me see how I can serve my pastor and their family today. And he will tell you, because he cares about his pastors and he cares about their family more than we ever could.
That's right.
We're just emulating his heart for this ministry.
And so much is just saying, God, help me see people the way you see them.
Yes.
And just think for a minute about your pastor and their family.
Yep.
How does God see them?
Yeah.
Like, how would you just put yourself in their shoes for 30 seconds?
Yes.
Or ask them a question, like, what is it like?
What do they enjoy? Like, do you even know? Like, these are some of the things now I'm asking myself. Like, if I wanted to get, a gift for Corey and Rachel's oldest daughter, would I even know what Sarah, lover, likes? Like, would I even be able to say, like, hey, I'm going to send you $20 to get Sarah, a hoodie that I know that she'll love from American Eagle because she's turning into a little teenager and she's ready to start sporting like all these cute things, stuff like that, where I don't need credit for it. I don't need to be a part of it, but let me Venmo Rachel right now and just say, like, hey, the next time you're going back to school shopping with your kiddos, this is going to go towards that,
Yeah.
I think that there are things
she's going to do it, you guys. She's going to Venmo Rachel in like 5 minutes. That's right. We got to wrap up this podcast because Venmo time. But no, seriously.
It popped into my mind.
Like, would God give us a heart of generosity to see people and just do something?
Yeah, radical.
Just do something encouraging,
and don't overthink it.
Share this podcast with somebody else. Like, there's joy here. Well, Jada, first of all, thank you so much for being a part of Love Pastors.
Yes. Yeah.
For some reason saying yes like 9 months or whatever ago, when I remember asking you to join the board. You're like, me?
Yeah,
like,
why?
Like, well, a lot of obvious reasons, but you bring this joy and this experience and this passion, and you were the one, like, with several friends handing out I Love My Pastor t-shirts.
Yeah, we've got great
at
merch.
Alive, and you said people were like, hey, I never heard of anything like that. Like, say a word about that, because that was really a crazy thing, you guys. We got to be at a Christian music festival with I don't know how many thousands of people, and we had all these t-shirts, so Jada's just like, let's go.
Yeah, so Gary did what Gary often does, which is that once you are in his sphere, you just get roped into things.
Free swag, hey.
Yeah. And so we got roped into giving generously away just some Love Pastors t-shirts that we have that said, I love my pastor, designed by Steve Schumann.
Steve.
They're wonderful. And so in doing that, there were pastors' kids that I talked to that came and got a shirt and were like, I've never heard of a ministry that is for the pastors and it needs to exist. There were pastors that I talked to who were like, oh my God, well, I don't know if I can wear this t-shirt, but maybe
I love myself.
Maybe somebody else will wear this. But like,
right.
Oh my gosh, I feel so seen by this was one of the things one of the men said to me when I was talking to him. And I think that it's unique. And I'm sure anyone listening to this podcast will say, I haven't come across one. I've been in ministry my whole life. I've been, a part of these spaces. I've never heard of a ministry that is for the pastors and for their families. And it is desperately, desperately needed.
It really is.
And people respond so positively to it because they should.
Yeah.
We should all feel that call as a personal mandate. It is my job to love my pastor well because it is their job to love all of us, right? Like the expectation we have of our pastor is that they're going to do all of the inclusion and all of the preaching and all of the, they're going to just focus on that. So who here is willing to say, hey, as for me and as for my spouse, we're going to focus on our pastor. We're going to make sure they have what they need to do this well and to do it with joy.
Yeah. And
with kindness and with patience. Like, I'm going to actually inform the way that they're able to fuel this ministry.
That's right.
By my generosity.
Guys, that's what we want to be about. Love Pastors is a verb.
Yes.
Like, we want to do that. We want to help you do it. We want to remind you to do it. We want to say, look, I've been reading the end of Paul's letters. And how many times is he thanking other people by name for their encouragement or saying, pray for me, or like, I want to see you soon because it gives me mutual encouragement. Like, pastors need, right?
Yes,
and it's part of the body of Christ. If you've got a gift of encouragement, step up and do it.
Yeah, please.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
And be a part of what we're doing. I think Gary is one of the most like humble leaders that I've seen in this space. Like, there are so many people that have come along and said, well, I don't know if this matters, but I have this. And you've always found a way for it to bless the body. I think that's a gift of yours, is seeing how something small or seemingly inconsequential can be really consequential. So, don't just write yourself off or write off what you can do for the pastors and the pastors' families in your life. Christ's heart is gentle and it's lowly. And I think that that's something you emulate. It's something that a lot of the pastors that we serve emulate. And I think that is, a mandate for us. We need to check our hearts and make sure that is what's coming across in this ministry and in each of our churches and how we share and how we serve our pastors and their families.
Amen, sister. Seriously, you said that so well. I want to wrap it up with this. Jada, thanks again for being on the podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me.
What is your prediction for, it October 31st or November 1st?
It's the very end of October.
Penn State with Drew Aller goes into the Horseshoe in Columbus. You guys, this is that.
I'll be at the game.
You will?
Yeah, I will. I'll be at the game.
I have a ticket. I might be at the game too. Remember, Luke goes there.
We can't see each other that day, though, because I'll be in my blue and white.
You'll be one of the 3 Penn State fans. I'm just kidding. There will be 4. There will be a lot of them.
Here's my prediction.
Here's
my prediction.
Don't say pain.
This is our year. This is our year. And I think that Michigan has served enough blows to the ego.
Michigan.
Yeah, to your ego.
I don't even know what that word means.
Yeah. I think
Michigan.
that it's served enough of a weakness. They found the Achilles heel.
Oh, you think so?
And this year, I think that we're gonna take over that spot and just get a good kick to the heel. And if so, I'll be sending this podcast to everyone I know.
That's right. Jada called it. Right here, you guys. Jada called it. So, well, good luck with that. Jada Yoder.
I know.
Is she a prophetess? Is she predicting
Let's
this?
hope so.